this evening. My name is Natalie. I am your host and founder of Why Fathers Matter. Our mission here is to give recognition to real fathers, active fathers, fathers that are making an impact in the lives of their child or children. Our mission here is also to restore our communities, restoration of villages, the restoration of relationships between men and women because men and women are the foundation of the family, and also to restore families. Okay. Again, I would like to apologize for these technical difficulties that we experienced this evening. I don't know what happened, but like I mentioned, here at Why Fathers Matter, we do this because we want people to know the importance of men. Whether in the community, whether in society, men are important. We really want people to know that men are important in their families. So I do believe, I'm a single parent of four. I don't trip over that. I love my kids and all of that stuff, but I do believe that we need to fix this single family household situation that is occurring all over the world, not even just in our country. So we should do something about it. We should also do something about the fact that there are great fathers that would love to be in their child or children's lives, and they're prevented from being in their lives because of different things. Um, we really need to restore the relationship, restoration of the relationships between men and women. That is extremely important because men and women are the ones that create the kids. You know, it takes two parties to make a baby. Okay, so it should take two parties to raise the babies. Not just that, it's not about the grown people, it's about the kids. So at the end of the day, it's about what the kids need. Okay, and the kids really need a man in their life and a woman in their life. If we sit and we look at the way the world are, the way the world is at the moment, and we look at the kids that and we look at the kids that are here, you know, we see a lot of dysfunctionality because of these situations. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of children that seem as if they're misguided. And a lot of times that pressure or that issue or situation falls on single mothers. But we need to get to the root of why mothers are single. Why does mothers become single parents? We need to get to the root of that. Okay? And then we need to get to the root of how are we going to fix it? Yeah, we need to get to the root of how we're going to fix it. Okay. At the end of the day, like I mentioned to you guys, and I mention on every show, we need to sit there and figure out what we're going to do to fix these situations. And it's not, this situation has no color to it because I know single parents of every race. I know a lot of single fathers, so it's not even just a single mother thing. I know a lot of broken communities. I know the village aspect no longer exists. I know I mention it all the time. When I grew up, we grew up with the village mentality. Okay, when I grew up, my neighbor watched over me and my sister. When I grew up, it was okay. It was all right for you to trust your neighbor to watch over your household. You wasn't worried about going to work and your neighbor breaking in your house the way we are now. Okay, and we need to do something about that. We have no more trust amongst each other in our communities. People don't trust people anymore. And that right there is an issue, especially when it comes to relationships, because a lot of times people enter relationships with these serious trust issues. And they put everybody's an individual. That's the first thing I want to be known is everybody is an individual. So if you was with an idiot or an asshole, that does not mean every person you meet is going to be an idiot or an asshole. Simple as that. Excuse me for a minute. This is my 18-month-old boy. It's hot. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, I'm a parent 24/7. Even when I'm doing my show, my parenting does not stop. And I don't mind because this is a job I signed on for. So, but like I was saying, a lot of times trust issues. A lot of people jump into relationships with trust issues. A relationship is not going to be successful if you jump in there from the gate with trust issues. Yeah, you might have been with another person that was no good. That doesn't mean that the new person you're into is going to be no good also. You have to give people a chance. And people aren't giving people a chance. Automatically, they're putting people in a box. And that right there divides homes. Okay, because those are the relationships a lot of times that kids are created out of. Okay, kids are created out of these relationships. What are we going to do to fix this though? So we already know what all of the issues are. Okay, when we talk about relationships, we really stress communication. I always tell people you really have to get to understand a person, get to know that person. A lot of people are understanding and getting to know people on the surface level. The surface level is not deep enough when you're trying to establish something or build something. You need a solid foundation when you're working on establishing something and building something. Okay, so you need to get to know a person on the soul level. On the soul level, you need to get to understand their bone marrow. You know what I'm saying? The blood that's flowing through their veins, all their electrons and neutrons and protons. You need to be able to understand the energy and the vibrations that your spouse or your partner is sending off of them, or the person you're trying to establish a relationship with. Or what is the sense of being involved with that person if all you know is their favorite color, their zodiac sign, their favorite foods? Is more to a person than those surface things. So if you're trying to establish something or build something that you want to last a long time, get to know the person that you're dealing with. Understand that person. One of the biggest issues we face right now here today in this whole entire world is men have not taken the chance or the time to really fully understand the struggles of a woman, and a woman has never really taken the time to fully understand the struggles of a man. Okay? And if we don't understand what one or the other go through, how are we supposed to understand each other? Hi, baby. I see your time's up. You want to say hi? Would you like to say hello to Radio World and Video World tonight? Okay. So yes, this is what we really need to do. Another thing is a lack of communication. It's so funny. I don't watch the soap operas or nothing, but I happen to be visiting my great aunt, and she happened to be watching the stories. And on the stories, they were actually talking. It was a woman basically explaining to her man that she was cheating on him. And at the end of the day, he wasn't paying no attention to what he was saying. She was telling him, basically, she was getting ready to let him know, I'm giving a booty to somebody else. And she's trying to explain it to him. And he's sitting there, well, I already know about Thomas. I know that he likes you. Who wouldn't like you? But I know that we have this special thing going on. But at the same time, she's really trying to explain to him that she's having an affair with this man, and he was not listening at all. It was just like it was nothing said to him, and that's what I mean by communication. Another thing I tell people: if a person show you something from the beginning, start believing that about that person. A lot of times, women get caught up because they fall in love or with the ideals of that man, or we see potential in people. So when we're able to see potential in people, we want to sit there. We know that, okay, wow, he has the potential to be fantastic. He can be like this. He can be like that. We understand this and we know this. So a lot of times women fall in love or fall with the thought of how this man is supposed to be opposed to how the man is going to be. And a lot of times women hold on to false hopes that this man is going to change and be what they want him to be opposed to what he really is or who he is showing them that he is. Okay, so that's another thing. Same thing with men. Men face the same situations that women face. Okay, Men, yeah, they cut from a different cloth. Okay, so they don't express stuff the way that we express stuff. No, not at all. But that doesn't mean that they don't feel things and all of that other stuff. I know a lot of men that are hurt from past relationships, and I know a lot of men that want to give up on women because of things they've been through with other women. You know, so I understand all of these things. I know that these situations exist. Okay, but we're going to get back to the basics. The reality that we need to get to right now is, how do we fix the situation? What do we do to make it better? How do we fix it where we're all working together to rebuild these relationships so we can rebuild these families? Because the families need restoration. If we can't restore the families, we might as well forget restoration of anything else. I mentioned it on my show Tuesday. Everybody's talking about building up nations. Mija, you're trying to escape. Everybody's talking about building up nations and this, that, and the other. But what about, you gotta, when you're building something, you have to build off of a foundation. You're not going to build a nation if you can't restore unity amongst people. Okay, the first step to unification is the relationships between men and women, restoration of the family. Okay, once you restore the family, you have the capacity now to be able to restore the village. Once you restore the village, now you're capable of restoring the community. Once you restore the community and everything is functioning properly for the betterment of everyone, not for the selfishness that people are building up right now. It's all this greed and stuff has to cease. Everybody have to work collectively and as a unit. Okay, that way everybody rises up together. Everybody builds together. Everybody's on the same level. It's not, oh, I'm up here and I'm looking down at you. Because that's where all the issues end up coming out at, you know? So we have to fix that. Okay? I really, really think that, you know, somewhere along the lines, Why Fathers Matter will have like a course. I'm going to speak to my male co-hosts because they're great men, where they can have like a video class to talk to men. And, you know, I'll talk to some females I know, have them come on and we can talk to women, you know, because it has to be a course of action to fix these situations. We have to have a course of action. Okay? So we got to work together to make this happen. My co-host is unable to make it to the show tonight, guys. He has a personal family thing going on. So let's keep his uncle in our prayers. He's in the hospital. And he just hit me up. He said, tell everyone, he said, what it do, ski and peace. Yes. You know, but he'll be back in the future. You know, okay. So back to what we were discussing. We need to fix these situations. We don't need to just sit and talk about fixing them. We need to make it do what it do. Okay, so now I mention to you guys all the time, I'm a single mom. I've been single for a couple years now. You know, I've been single for a couple of years because I wanted to work on myself. You know what I'm saying? I needed to correct some things in myself so I could be a better parent to my kids. I'm not saying that I was a bad parent, but it's always room for improvement in life. You're never your total best. So that's why it's important for us to educate ourselves, and it's important for us to do this, that, and the other, because that makes us a better individual. Okay, so that's what I've been doing for the last couple years. At this point where I'm at now, I know that it's going to change. I know that I'm going to end up in a relationship. I know I'm not just going to be in a relationship for myself, but also because I have males, I have sons. I have male sons. I have princes in my life that need a king over them. Okay, yes, I'm a queen. I could be over them all day, but they need to have a king over them so he can teach them what a man is supposed to teach them, because I teach them everything. But I noticed that when I went to my 13-year-old and I started talking to him about puberty and the changes he was going to go through, I can see that he was bashful, and I don't ever want to educate my children and embarrass them and make them feel withdrawn from a situation. I want to always come at them. But I saw that maybe because it was coming from a female, he was just a little bashed, like he was like, Mom, and I don't want him to feel that way. Okay. So I know it's something I'll implement into my life. Just has to be the right person who I've already wasted time. I don't have no more time to waste. So I always, when I do talk to males that are, I guess, conversating with me, letting me know that they're interested in me, I let them know that I'm looking for a man that I could build with. You know what I'm saying? A man where we can sit there and we can go to higher heights and different levels. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people just think about things on a physical aspect. The physical aspect is not as important as building up a foundation and doing everything else. The physical aspect is what gets you caught up a lot of times, because usually when you become physical with someone, it's a whole nother surge of emotions coming in. That's why I explain to people, get to know people. Get to know who you're spending your energy on or who you're giving your energy to. You need to do that. That's very important. Don't just be out there jumping into things. Let people get to know these individuals that you're jumping into relationships with. Because it's an exchange of energy. Even when you're sitting at a table and you're eating dinner and you're having a conversation, this is an exchange of vibrations and energies. So it's important that you're really, using that energy and that time on the right person. Okay? So that's the first thing, really taking time out to get to know a person. Once you sit and you really get to know a person, you won't have false expectations or anything of that nature. You'll sit there and you'll be like, you know what? I'm getting to know this individual. I want to know everything about this person. I like this person. And you want the life to grow into something way deeper. But you don't want to be in false love with an individual or love a person that don't love you back. So you want to, you want to fall. If you're going to fall, you want to fall together instead of falling by yourself. And I'm not talking about like, falling, like just your world ending. I'm talking about like falling into like loving somebody. You know what I'm saying? So get to know the individuals, because a lot of times we think we're in love with people and we're not. Sometimes it's just a strong mere infatuation. Sometimes you're in love with a part of that person. A lot of times women fall in love with the ideal of that person, the ideal of what that man can be, opposed to what that man really is. Okay, and it's men that do the same thing as well. They fall in love with the ideals of a person. I'm real big on action. If a man is sitting there telling me something, show me what you're telling me. That's just like a person sitting there saying, oh, I hit the lottery. Oh, I hit the lottery, but they'll never go cash the ticket. But they're at the store and they're buying something. It's kind of like that Martin episode where they hit the lottery, but they ended up having to split it with like 300 other people. And they ended up with like $99 a piece after taxes. Okay, so stop dealing with the false hopes and stuff. Get to really understand the person, understand what they really want. If you meet another person and they sincerely want the same thing you want, you can build something beautiful out of that. Not just wanting it, but willing to take the necessary steps to build that up. You can really sit there and get something wonderful out of that. It doesn't mean every day is going to be peachy, no. But that's the life. Who wakes up happy every day? I don't care how much money you got. You know what I'm saying? Or how good you think your life is or what your situation is. There's going to be a day that you wake up and you're just going to be feeling a certain type of way. It happens. That's a part of being a spiritual being inside of a human body, having a human experience. That's a human experience. Okay, so that's a human experience. You know, so that's one of those situations where it can be something amazing if you sit there and you put the work in. A lot of people just want these fairy tale relationships. And, you know, it can always be a happily ever after. But sometimes you got to work for those happily ever afters. I know a lot of people that are happily married. You know, they've been married for 20 plus years. And then I know a lot of people that are happily single. And a lot of people want to remain single because they've given so much and got so little in return. I can understand that. That was one of the reasons I've been single for so long, or whatever. And not only that, like I said, when I do decide to do what I do, it's going to be a special person. It's going to be a person that we're on the same level. We want to build together. We've had extensive conversations and we know the direction we want us to go in, you know, so it's one of those situations. Okay, so we know we have to work on that. So my advice to anyone that is dating or conversating with a man or a woman and you're beginning to get feelings for them, really take your time out to understand that individual. Make sure you both want the same things. Make sure that way you know you're going to start on a smooth foundation and you're working together to build these things up. The same thing with parenting. You know, I'm a single parent, like I mentioned to you guys all the time. Sometimes you have to find a happy medium with your, in my case, would be my children's fathers. I would have to find a happy medium with them to co-parent the proper way. Sometimes it just feels so impossible to do that when they want to throw so much crap in between. You know what I'm saying? Who has time to deal with BS when you're trying to raise kids? You know, so my attitude is either we're going to work together or we ain't working at all. A lot of times, you know, they have these emotions that's caught up in the situations because okay. Every person that has a child with another person, it doesn't mean y'all gonna be together forever. Let's face the facts. You know, let's be realistic about the situation. There's a lot of people out there having babies thinking they're going to keep men. There's a lot of men out there making babies with women thinking it's going to hold the women. Get that out of your mind because that does not work. It doesn't work. My mom always said, mommy's babies, papa's maybes, which means that you can end up pregnant and end up being a single parent. Okay, another issue that we face is a lot of times some men have not they haven't matured mentally to handle the responsibility that they sit there and they've or you know just handle that responsibility. They haven't even sat there and grown mentally for that. So we have to figure out what we're going to do to fix the situation. We have to. What are we going to do? Because at the end of the day, it's about these kids. I see now, don't get me wrong, because I see, in my case, being that I'm a single parent, I choose to surround my sons and my daughter around positive people. Okay? Because there's a lot of single parents out there and a lot of people that don't want to jump into relationships. What I can recommend to single women, make sure you have a strong, powerful male role model in the lives of your son. Because a lot of times what's happening, us as single women, when we're raising sons, our sons are seeing us. And females are emotional beings. So you have a lot of males running around with heightened emotions. Okay, and they have these heightened emotions that they don't know how to control because for one, it's not natural for them to have it. So that's why we see a lot of these kids pulling guns out and shooting each other because they have these heightened emotions And I mean, it's sad but true. A lot of them came out of single parent homes with women. Okay. So it is important to have a balance in your child's life when it comes down. Same thing with females. Girls need men in their life to show them, you know, teach them how a man is supposed to treat them. You know, there's it's a quote. It always says like, a father is a little girl's first love and a boy's first, you know, first hero. You know, so we have to work on getting that situation to be the way it needs to be. We need to get it together when it comes down to building restoration of families, restoration of the relationships between men and women. Okay. It's so much where, I mean, it's women talk so negative about men, men talk so negative about women. It's in our music, it's on our TV. It's in everything we see all the time. And if you see something all the time or you hear something all the time, you start believing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like watching TV. If you watch TV all the time and all the time and all the time, some people literally fall into part of that television world and start living in a fantasy. So it's the same thing. If our sons constantly hear women being degraded in the music, that's the outlook that they're going to have on women. If a lot of women just, it's a lot of women that hate men, and it's a lot of men that hate women. Okay? And it's really, really sad because it doesn't mean a person is to be hated. Why does a person have to be hated? They don't have to be hated because you've been in a bad relationship. Everybody is not the same. And if you end up dating guys and you notice that they all seem the same, it's no longer time for you to be mad at those men. It's now time for you to be mad at yourself, because that means you have set a pattern of the type of men that you attract. You're releasing a certain type of vibration. And this is why that type of man is attracted to you. Okay? And then that means you need to work on yourself. Another issue is a lot of times people get out of relationships and hop right back into relationships. Give yourself some time to heal. Yeah. 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 Say hi. Say hi. Give yourself some time to heal before you jump into another relationship, because if you don't, you're going to bring baggage with you into another relationship. You're not going to be thinking with an open mind, you know, because you're always going to be thinking about that last idiot you have been with, you know, that caused all the havoc and the pain and the confusion. And you're going to look at the new person. You're going to be looking for that in the new person off the rip. And that's going to destroy the relationship. Each individual deserves to, you know, have a chance. They deserve to get a chance and being in a relationship. They deserve to get a chance. So stop putting everybody in a box. Okay? Because that's why a lot of situations are failing. And again, have realistic expectations. You know, my mom, she's usually on the show with me. She'll probably be here later. Can you please stop pulling my hair? Thank you. She always makes a valid point. Women, stop thinking these men have to take care of you, because they don't. They don't. The only person a man is responsible for taking care of is his wife and his daughter. And his son is if he has a son. A lot of you women think that if you're with a guy and you sleep with him, oh well, now he's supposed to pay all of your bills. That's not even a realistic way of thinking. I call that prostitute mentality. Okay. I believe that if you invite a person to your house, they're your guests. You're supposed to be hospitable to your guests. If a man invites you out to eat, that's something totally different. If you suggest that y'all go out to eat, why can't you pay the bill? What's wrong with you paying the bill if you're like, you know what are you doing tonight? Let's go out to eat. There's nothing wrong with sharing the responsibility. Because when you're in a relationship, or even if you're married, it's shared responsibility. Okay? And you know, our children are watching us. They're watching how we treat each other. They watch our behavior. This is what our children, they watch us. So it's really important for you to set a great example for your children, especially when it comes to relationships. You know, it's important that we do that. Because again, our children are watching us, okay, and they're going to get older and they assimilate what they see. That means they're going to do what you show them. Parents are the first, I mention it all the time, we are the script writers of our children's lives. We are the script writers of their memories as of right now. So do your best. And trust me, being a single parent is no joke. Yes, it's hard, especially when you don't have any type of help. You know, when you don't have help or you're not getting no type of assistance or anything, it can be really, really, really difficult. But you just got to keep pressing and keep fighting and never lose your drive. Always look at your prize, and your prize are your kids. They were gifts to you. So never let the challenges of life or the things you face, you know, dictate how you're going to be a parent. You know, I mean, I mention all the time, start paying attention to your kids. You know, sometimes a lot of parents get so caught up with what we're dealing with in life and paying bills and all of that the kids fall on the back burner. And the reality behind that is it's not fair to the kids for that to happen to them. It's not. It's not. So again, like I said, we are the script writers. You know, so we have to fix us to fix them. Because a lot of these kids have these issues that they have because of us. Because we are the ones raising them. So it's now time for people to take responsibility for their actions. Let's be responsible for when we mess up. And we're not just, a lot of times people don't understand. Being an adult goes real deep because it's not just your kids watching you. You have a lot of people watching you. You know, you have a lot of people watching you. A lot of them. You know, so we have to work on ourselves. You know, and when I say that, that means we have to work on ourselves so we can reestablish healthy relationships. So we can reestablish healthy relationships. That right there is extremely important. Okay? Very important. Okay, yes, that's extremely important. So we need to work on that. My vision for Why Fathers Matter is big. Okay, my vision for Why Fathers Matter is huge. Let me give you a little history on Why Fathers Matter. I have a co-host. He's been absent for a while. He just got some personal things going on in his life, but I ended up starting Why Fathers Matter after having a conversation with this. He's a king, so with this king, had a conversation with him, and his story was so profound, to him being a man, wanting to be a part of his children's lives, and having a baby mother that will not allow him to do that because he no longer wants to be with her. And it happens. It happens. Like I mentioned before. You gotta excuse me. My hair is getting on my nerves. But like I mentioned before, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. At the end of the day, we have to make the best decisions for our kids. If you have a man in your life and he wants to be a part of his kids' lives and he sincerely loves his children, stop using your kids as pawns because he don't want to be with you. It's too many men out there for you to even want to do something like that. Get over it. That shows a sign of weakness in you. Okay? Because a strong woman, if a relationship ends, she just gonna chop it up and keep it moving and go about her business. A weak woman is going to try to cause havoc in this man's life because he don't want to be with her. Okay? And that right there just shows that you're weak. Stop being that way. Because you're being selfish. You're not thinking about things in the best interest of your child or your children. Okay, so you have to do better than that. Because at the end of the day, one day that child is going to get old enough and that child is going to ask, what happened? What happened? Why my father not here? Why my daddy not here? And you're going to have to tell that child the truth, because if you tell that child a lie, eventually that child is going to find out. And then that child is going to have an issue with you. Okay? Both of my co-hosts, I'm going to co-sign for them. I think they are great men and they are fantastic fathers. You know, they're great role models to my children. You know what I'm saying? I consider them to be the model for what you consider a king. You know, so I give big ups to them and shout outs to them all the time because they're doing what they need to do as fathers. Okay. Like I mentioned, one of my co-hosts, he got a baby mother that I don't think her elevator's moving too smooth, but I don't know her, so I'm not going to judge her. But if you ever watch my show, Woman to Woman, this man wants to be around his kids. So you need to stop all the BS and let him be a father to his kids. You know what I'm saying? If he don't want you, get over it. Go find somebody else. If he don't want you, it's somebody in the world that do. Get over the bitterness and the pain that you're carrying around, because it affects your kids, whether you believe it or not. It affects your children. So I want you to understand that. Yeah. You gotta, let me get that, Mija. You have to sit there and do that. Now, the only way I would sit there and tell a woman to not allow, I gotta drink some tea. A man to be a part of his children's lives is if you know he's not going to set a great example for your kids, or he's not going to be a good role model for them. Why would you want him being a part of your kids' lives? If you know the father of your child is no good, then okay, you can give him the boot, but that does not mean you should not meet another man. You know what I'm saying? Don't close yourself off to your children having a positive role model in their life, because there's a lot of great stepfathers in the world. I grew up with a great stepfather. Okay? I think he was great. He's a man he wasn't my biological father and took on the responsibility to be my father and taught me all that he could teach me. So I believe that right there is a wonderful thing. Okay? So, you know, you can go out there and you can find another positive person to be in your children's lives or your child's life. You don't just have to sit there and wing it and do it by yourself. Not saying that we can't do a good job, because I do a great job of raising my kids by myself. I mean, they're well behaved, they're mannerable, they do well in school. I'm looking forward to them going to college and graduating college and being productive in society. That's my goal as being a parent. I don't want my children to be a statistic because their skin is brown. Simple as that. I don't want them being judged because their skin is brown. Those are things that they will not be able to, it's going to happen anyway, but I'm raising them to know how to handle it. Okay? So that's what I'm doing as a parent. Same thing, fathers. There's a lot of single fathers out there. So to all the mothers that have abandoned your children and left your children with the fathers, you need to woman up and be a woman to your kids, because your kids need a mother. Stop being selfish. You know, selfishness right now has this world in such disarray. The world is so screwed up because people are selfish. They have no compassion. They're selfish. They're greedy. You know, and that right there is what's causing this world and the people in the world to fail at such a wide scale. You know, me being a mother, I can't imagine just walking out on my kids or my, you know, I can't imagine that ever. Just saying, you know what? Today I had too much of this. We're going to Walmart and just leaving them in Walmart. Like, I couldn't do that to my kids. I love them too much. Not only that, they are a part of me. So when you sit there, I mean, I know people that have lost their kids and went and had other kids and just act like the other group of kids don't exist. I've seen people sign their rights over the kids just so they can have a child by a man thinking it's going to keep a man. I've seen a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I haven't been able to grasp the reality on it, but I see it. It's a lot of people that do these things. You know, so I would just tell us we need to be better and we need to do better. Because each parent matters. A mother matters, a father matters. Children deserve to have both parents or to have positive role models in their life. If, like I mentioned before, if it don't work, it don't work. But that does not mean your child does not deserve to have a positive person in their life. There's too many women out there, oh, I just want the man for the seed so I can have a baby and he can go about his business. That's the wrong mentality to have when it comes down to bringing a child into this world. Okay, it's the wrong mentality to have. We have to start respecting each other a lot more than we respect each other. If we can't respect each other as adults, don't expect the kids to respect each other as children, and they're going to grow up as adults and not respect each other also. It's going to be a vicious cycle of people, you know, yeah, it's going to be, you know, a vicious cycle of failure. Because right now we are failing these kids. We are. We're failing the kids. We're failing ourselves. We sell ourselves so short. When you have the attitude that, oh, you're going to be single for the rest of your life, you just sold yourself short. Because man was created to be with a woman and a woman was created to be with a man. Why sell yourself short? Because a person comes to you and tell you, oh, you're beautiful or whatever the case may be, that does not mean he is your knight in shining armor. Oh my goodness, I know as a female that I'm cool with, and it's like every guy that sits there and compliments her, she's like, oh girl, he wants me. No, he doesn't. He does not want you. He's complimenting you. He's letting you know you're a beautiful woman. And he may want to get between your legs and get you in the bed. That does not mean that he wants you. He wants to build anything with you. Oh, and a lot of times we're in situations where there are women. They're having, you know, they have sex with a guy and automatically they think that that's their future. Know the difference between something being your future and someone being seasonal. Know the difference between a seasonal person and a lifetime person. Okay. And stop being so fast to give up your goods. I know. Stop doing that. Stop, you know, take your time and, you know, just take your time and be with an individual. You know, get to know these people. That way, a lot of the issues that we face when we have kids, we won't face them. Because a lot of times we have kids by people we don't know. Or we think we know them, and then you have a kid by them, and they do like a complete 360. Then a lot of times people end up bitter. It ends up being these issues and these problems. And at the end of the day, the only person that ends up suffering are the kids. Okay. So we have to do something to fix that. We have to make the situation better than what it is. Huh?
I'm gonna leave some, but she's watching the
Okay. Yeah, so you know, but outside of all of that, I want everyone to understand why these things are so important, why letting people know that fathers matter is important. And the reason is because it's important. And at this particular time, it's detrimental. It's detrimental at this particular time. We really have to work these things out in our communities, in our villages. I'm seeing too many single mothers walking pushing strollers and too many fathers walking around with multiple kids.
I already told you I had some spaghetti.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So right now we really need to sit there and we need to put one foot in front of the other. Forget marching and protesting. We need to put one foot in front of the other so we can work this situation out. Okay. The solutions that I have, like I mentioned, communication. Let's communicate. I mentioned earlier I'm going to have a conversation with my co-host. So somewhere before the end of this year, we will have a show where my co-hosts are running it, and they're talking to men. Then I'm going to hit up some females I'm cool with, and we're going to have a show where we're talking to men, about fixing the situation, fixing us. And then I'm going to have a show with kids. Okay, not just my kids. Okay. I'm going to have a show where, I'm going to have kids. Not just my kids, because my kids, they'll get up here and break it down to you, but I'm going to have other kids up here also so they can express to you the importance of these things happening and how imperative it is for it to happen now. We need it to happen now. Okay. So I noticed, like I mentioned all the time, I am a single parent. So when I'm on my show, like I told you, a mother's job is never done. So my baby is here with me every show. Today he's just active and in rare form. I have my other kids here with me as well. And they're just listening in right now. Tonight, they have the Wiz Live on. Your head is hurting? Okay, Zarian and Zaquan. Just make sure he doesn't put anything in his mouth and he stays away from the stairs. My daughter, she's usually here with me on the show, but tonight she's suffering from a headache. So I'm going to tell her to lay down and relax. And, that's something that we're working on getting situated. Okay. So, yes, we need to fix these situations and make things happen properly. And, I want people to believe in love again. I really want people to believe in love again because you've been hurt and stuff. That doesn't mean you cannot believe in love again. There's so many people that's afraid of love because they've been hurt. Oh goodness, think of it this way. If you sit there and you cut yourself, your wound will sit there and heal. It might leave an ugly scar, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't heal. And the fact that it heals means that you can sit there and you can go out there and do something else. I'm pretty sure we've all been in a situation where we ended up disappointed from the actions of an individual. But that doesn't mean your world is supposed to stop because of that. Your world is supposed to keep going and forward motion. If you don't believe in love, how are you supposed to teach that to your kids? And okay, another thing. If you don't love yourself, don't look for love. If you're carrying baggage from a past relationship and you're hurting and you can't get over what another person did to you, don't look for love. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because you're only going to hurt people. Let's be realistic about it. Hurt people. You know what I'm saying? So make sure when you decide that that's something you want to do, you're going there with a clean slate and you're ready to try for what you want. Because that's important, trying for what you want. Okay? So just I think I'm really having this discussion because I've been having a lot of conversations this week with a lot of people, and everybody's looking for love. Everybody's looking for love, or they're in a relationship where they expected it to be a certain way and it didn't end up that way. And they're holding on thinking this man or this woman is going to change, and I'm letting them know off the rip, check it. If they sat there and they showed you they were full of shit from the beginning, at the end of the day, they're going to be full of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's going to be. There's nothing you can do about that. All you can do about that is chop it up, don't even take it as a loss. Chop it up as a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Take what you learned, the values from that, and go do something with it. Do something beneficial with it. Okay? You know, and it's something that's really, really important that you do that. You know, another thing, women, and I'm speaking to women first, and then I'm going to address the males. But females, stop comparing your new man to your old man. Okay, when you do the comparison of your new man to your old man, that means you still got baggage. That means you haven't gotten over what that old man did to you. If you're looking at your new man and you're comparing your new man to that old man, and he's an old man for a reason. The same thing with you male. Stop comparing your new chick to your old chick. And stop looking for the same characteristics that you found in a person that didn't work out with in a new person. That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to work. Because it's basically you're trying to find a replica of the person you was with. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Outkast, but remember Andre 3000 had the song Prototype? You looking for a prototype of the person you had already had a failed relationship with? Does that make any type of sense to you? No, it doesn't make sense to me. Not at all, not at all. You finished? It doesn't make any kind of sense. So make better decisions. Make better decisions when you're going to pick a person. Hold on for a minute. Nina, would you like to give grown people a relationship advice? Because you got some good advice.
Like what?
I mean, tell them, because I'm just letting them know, don't be looking for the old person and the new person.
Yeah, that's true, but usually most people, they have a type. Like me, I guess I always look for a certain type of guy that I'd be interested in, so they all end up being the same. Just like that song, fall for your type. It's like, not even psychological, it's just something that we do. And me, I don't do it on purpose. Most people, they probably do it on purpose, just looking for people that remind them of that set person. Like, there's a bunch of memes going around, like, do not hook up with people that still have that forever guy or forever girl laying around somewhere, because you will still be, you'll be the one that's jacked up in the end. No.
Yeah, well, that goes back to what I mentioned earlier about if you sit there and... Okay, so go ahead. Yeah, it's one of those situations where sometimes you develop a pattern. Like, I used to love thugs. Oh my gosh. It was just something attractive to me about a thug. You know what I'm saying? I didn't consider them thugs. They just were just had a deep hustle mentality. You know what I'm saying? They would have been considered thugs to other people. I just felt they were just regular, ordinary people. And then I tried something different. I was like, oh, I don't want to be with them anymore. So I went to go try, like, just a normal individual, a person that society would consider normal. No criminal record, college educated, graduated from high school, work, read books, kind of preppy type of person. And then that did not work. So now I don't even want any of that stuff. I want a king. So it's a big difference. I'm not settling for what I was with before. But I think I did develop a pattern at some point in time. But when you sit there and, huh?
Why are you doing that?
Say hi. I need you to hold it. No, right now I gotta. Right now, yeah.
We're on the show. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so sit down, Yasin. Okay, so this is one of the reasons, one of my main reasons why I have Why Fathers Matter. This little boy right here, he brings me so much joy. He is wonderful. He's a wonderful young man. I love all of my kids. I really, really do. Hey, Benaki. Is he going down the stairs?
No, he's going to
Yeah, so, okay. But yeah, so I basically, tonight was an open topic show. For some reason, I got stuck on the topic of relationships. And again, that may have been because of the phone calls that I have received all week regarding relationships. Okay. So, I mean, like I mentioned, I received multiple, hold on. Okay, I received multiple phone calls about relationships this week. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, inboxes, phone calls, text messages. Text messages, you good now. Text messages, all of that from males and females about either the relationship they're in, the relationship they want to develop, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm a hopeless romantic because, like I explained to you, I was been single for years. I've had multiple men approach me trying to holler at me, but I let them know I wasn't ready to be in a relationship, and because I wasn't ready to be in a relationship, I would have been no good to these men. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because I was hurt or nothing, because my last relationship, I didn't care about it ending. I was waiting. I was like counting like, okay, is today going to be the day? Is tomorrow going to be the day? And then when it happened, it was like a relief. I guess I didn't want to be the bad guy and just, be like, I didn't want to be the bad guy. But when it ended, it was like a relief and a stress. No love lost, no hate gains. I was in that relationship for a long time. I learned a lot of valuable lessons from being in that relationship. And today, from being in that particular relationship, I know exactly what I want. So I learned valuable lessons from being in that relationship. I learned what I want and I learned what I don't want. So that right there is, that's what you're supposed to do with these relationships. I'm not going to call it a failed relationship. I'm going to say we outgrew each other because that happens. So that's another thing I want people to understand. It happens in boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. It happens in marriages, everything. I was married, okay? And actually I was married to my daughter's father. And everything was cool. But we outgrew each other. I grew up and he stayed the way he was. So we couldn't be together no more. Do I hate him? No. Does he hate me? I don't know. I don't know if he hates me or not, but I don't care if he does. I don't care if he hates me or if he doesn't hate me. At the end of the day, we outgrew each other. If we would have stayed with each other, it wouldn't have went nowhere. We would just be two miserable individuals. and that's not how it's supposed to be. I wish him the best of luck. So women, I think my daughter father's single. He is really a great guy. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for a great man, you can holler at me. I'll give you his phone number. Okay? I'll give you his phone number. All right, but yes, it's pros and cons and situations. Everything does not last forever. Everybody wants things to last forever, but I think it has to do with individuals. Some people find that right person. Like I was talking to my great aunt last night. She's the last matriarch of my family, so she was explaining to me she got married when she was 19, and that was her first love, and they were together, had kids and everything. They did all of that together. They were saying to them. Yeah. Yeah, so at the end of the day, yeah, say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, so
Even though
yeah.
I told her you're on the radio, she said leave yourself on me.
Okay, I'm going to disappear for 1 minute, and I'll be right back. So hi. Say hi. Would you like to say anything while I disappear for a minute?
Who is it?
Miss John.
Hi.
Hi, John. I'll be right back, okay?
Turn off the camera.
Okay.
Okay. You can talk if you would like to, though. I'll be right back, though.
Hi, J-Mad.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well today.
How's everything going?
Bad. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's okay. My head's bothering me still. But that's enough about that. So, one topic about relationships. Is there anything, that you look for in a positive, like, friendship, relationship type of thing?
I would say, um, simply loyalty. And when you're talking about relationship, you can go into a whole bunch of directions with it. Um, it's not something that is positive. Friendship,
Mm-hmm.
um, intimate relationship in reference to a boyfriend and girlfriend or a marriage type of relationship. No relationship is easy. The individual always needs to find and find someone that compliments them, and that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just because a person compliments you doesn't mean the relationship is going to be hunky dory during its stages. So that's number one. People need to get out of the idea that relationships are easy and they're what you see on TV. Um, exactly is what you see on TV is people try to track what they see in their lives. Case. And deep down inside, people know that. It's funny because people try to mimic the relationships they see on TV and think that's happiness, but deep down inside, they know they won't even go for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, we need to understand that when you're or other, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, the first thing you need to look for is someone that compliments you. Or the Y to your ex. Um, Start working on lifting each other up. Another thing about relationships, and this is a more intimate type of relationship, not one person, whether, and I'm talking about family members, friends, you're in a relationship, when you're in a intimate relationship, you gotta learn things very, 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 very private. Um, that goes for everything. Privacy, if it's a hidden secret, when you have something in mind, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself because that thought, we always know that thought is energy. The minute you divulge a thought, like for example, the minute you tell someone something that you're thinking about, you've let that energy go. So same with relationship. You got to keep that in private. The minute you're telling others about that type of relationship, then the minute you give away that the power the relationship had. Many mistakes I see couples make is that when the relationship gets rocky, they go and tell other people. That's a big no-no because whether we gotta look at relationship as waves. Sometimes the wave will get hard. A storm will go through the wave, but eventually the wave will calm itself again. That's what a relationship is. So when you go into a storm and you go out and you start telling people about what's going on in the midst of the storm, you're weakening that relationship. You're, going at it toe to toe, and you happen to break up with the person. So, because you can break up with a person unexpectedly, and then you guys decide to go back together. Let's say, for example, let's use that example. You break up with someone, and no one knew you guys broke up. Okay, there's no conflict. You guys can always get back together, and no one is gonna say anything because no one knew you broke up. But let's say you broke up and you did tell someone that you broke up. Let's say you tell a family member. It's gonna be even harder for you to get back together when that happens. You're giving away the power of that relationship. Hold on. The number one thing we need to learn is we need to, learn to hold on to our power, and our power is our energy. We need to hold on to, the power that was given to us. And we have to look at things in that sense. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a thought, whether it's an idea, whatever it may be. So, case of, as it relates to parenting, I would say the mistake that we make is letting personal feelings and our emotions get in the way of raising the child. We have to come into a sense of maturity, to be mature in a sense. They don't
I'm
Can
I can hear you, but you're breaking up. So it's like I hear like every other syllable. A little better.
yeah, headphones. Yeah, but that's all I can say about that. Relationship is a very it's not easy. People should never think relationship. It's something like a puzzle you gotta put together. And just because you can't find a piece doesn't mean you stop playing the game or you stop trying to put that puzzle back together. You gotta keep looking for the pieces until that puzzle is complete. And when it's completed, you're not gonna remember all those times you were spending trying to put the puzzle together. You're just gonna just focus on how complete it is. And that's what a relationship is. The number one thing, let's recap. The number one thing is you always gotta find someone, whether it's a friend or a more intimate relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend. You always gotta look for someone that compliments you. And then work on building, and that's going back to the puzzle that I was describing. You gotta keep looking for the pieces until the puzzle is complete. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Well, you know what? I appreciate you, sharing your knowledge with everybody here at Why Fathers Matter today. He made some very valid points. The only thing with relationships, the only thing I can do is add on. Relationships are as complicated as you make them. Okay, and a lot of times they end up becoming complicated because of those unrealistic expectations. Or, like he said, when you go to seek a relationship, you have to go seek someone that compliments you. A lot of times, that's why a lot of times is that surface level stuff. You got to get stronger in the mind to know that surface level is not what it's about anymore. You want someone that's going to compliment you on a deeper level. You even like he said, even if it's friends or whatever, you want a friend that you can go and talk to that can give you some sound advice. Not a friend that's going to tell you what they read in one of those articles in the newspaper. Oh, well, girl, I was reading Ask Mary or whoever, and, she said, well, do this. You want some sound advice. You want a person to understand you so they can give you sound advice. And that's in any relationship, especially when it comes down to parenting. I have to understand my kids. My children, they have no choice but to understand me, or how am I going to raise them properly? If we don't have an understanding amongst each other.
That's something bad.
Yeah, you have to, but you know what? Any parent can have that with their kids. They just have to want to have it with their kids. See, I'm a mom all day. I'm a mom first. But I also raise them that I am their friends and they can come and talk to me about anything in the world. I'm not going to judge them. It's sometimes maybe you've been through things in life and you just be like, you know what, I'm not going to do that to my kids because I was through it in my life or whatever. But I took a lot of the values that my mother instilled in me, raising me, and put them in my kids. Because that right there was the foundation she gave me, so I had to give it to them. And that was to be mannerable, respectful, you know what I'm saying? Believe in the impossible. If somebody tell you can't do something, no, you could do it 10 times over. I raised them to have high self-esteem and to have extreme confidence in themselves. I raised them to let them know that I love them, and I teach them to love themselves. Because the first step to any successful relationship is loving yourself. I always say a secure man cannot be with an insecure woman. And an insecure woman cannot be with, and vice versa. A secure woman cannot be with an insecure man. That relationship is not going to work. It's always going to be an issue where that person feels less than. It has to be some type of balance in a relationship. Oh goodness, I don't want to be in a relationship where I don't feel I can trust the individual I'm in a relationship with. And you know what's so funny? You can be a secure person and your spouse make you feel insecure from things that your spouse does, but that's because your spouse is insecure. It's so many different ways it can go with relationships. Same thing with friends. You can have friends that are intimidated behind who you are as a person. Same thing in relationships, romantic relationships. Your spouse can be intimidated by you. They could be you could be that new type of person they never been with before. And now it's like, oh my gosh, how do I handle this individual? And what happens is when you're in a relationship, it's not about handling a person. It's about being with the person. There's no such thing as handling an individual. That's why I recommend that people take time. Take time, do everything one step at a time, and then everything ends up perfectly fine afterwards. When you rush, that's where you end up crashing and burning. Huh? You said it's just natural? Oh, you said some people think it's just natural? Go ahead.
One of the things that you mentioned, although that I said, try to keep everything private, that's also very important as well. If you can find someone, feel like you need to find that person, you have to be very careful in selecting who you speak with. Like you say, not everyone is in your best interest. You give the impression that they care. They, just give you that false impression that they care and make it seem like they're, they're in your best interest and they're not. They're just gonna take whatever you say and they're not talking about it to someone else. They're, deep down inside, they're happy that you're going through, whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
Just be very careful. Personally, I'm very private. And when I'm saying private, I am very, very private. A lot. If I don't want you to know, you're just not gonna know. You can take everything. You can just look at it as, I don't know how to explain it. You can look at it as if you have so much energy to do something. Let's say you have energy from a lot, really feel energetic. Once you and you perform, okay, this is to someone at the end. And that's just exhausting. Whatever situation and just became worse. I look at everything from the letting or encouraging information, whether it's thought, whether it's, speaking. Hold on to whatever you have. Hold on to that thought. Hold on to words that about. Yes, you can speak to someone that you know you can absolutely, without a doubt, trust. So that's very important.
What you got? The trash is right there. Oh, okay. But thanks again for your valid point. You're absolutely right. That's one major way relationships ends is from people discussing their personal business with other people. My mother always told me, one thing that I tell my kids is what goes on in our house is our business. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be able to question one of my children about what goes on in our house because they're going to tell you straight up, go ask my mother. The same thing with relationships. Me, I tell people what I want to tell them. You know what I'm saying? Anything else, you know what I'm saying? If you know me personally, you might know something about me. Otherwise, I believe in being a private person also. Being that I have Why Fathers Matter, I have to reveal a little bit more to the world so they can understand why I have the mission that I have. Or whatever, but if I'm dating somebody, if I'm choosing to date somebody, nobody's gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a person that I'm choosing to date or I want to be with. Otherwise, it's none of nobody's business. So I understood exactly what John was mentioning to us this evening. I do appreciate him, having time to be here because usually when he comes through, he has some valid points, to bring forth to all of the listeners. Can learn a lot of things from him. So yes, we need to, rebuild these relationships though, and start taking pointers and these little hints and stuff from what has been given to us and make it work for us. Okay, and make it work for us. And that's every type of relationship. Me, I can count all of my, I guess you call them friends, on one hand, and I probably got fingers left over. Because I don't rock with so many people. I stay to myself. My children, that's my team. I got a squad right here. I got 4 kids. I got a team. And you know what? They're the best team I could have. I have a couple of, close, I guess you would call them friends. I have a couple of them. My best friend is my daughter. Hands down, she's my best friend. My other best friends are my sons. Hands down. They know me better than anybody else. They understand me better than anybody else. So they are my best friends. Yes. But yes, we have to do something when it comes down to restoration of relationships, when it comes down to romance and when it comes down to friendship, because the loyalty does not exist in a lot of situations. And women, it's tax season, taxes are coming up, income taxes are coming up. So if that dude come out of nowhere and he trying to holler at you, that's because he's trying to get some of those chips when you cash that check. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to be very careful, be mindful of these situations. Same thing with men. It is income tax time. Yeah, Papi. It is income tax time. Is a chick out there, she already eyeing your chips. So be careful about that. Be very, very careful because it is income tax time. And this is what people are doing right now. You want to say something to people? Say hi. Want to wave? We're going to give them. Do boom. Yes, so I'm actually not going to be up here for a very, very long time tonight. I know I did start late. I'll probably be up here for another 15 minutes. Yeah, probably like another 15 minutes. I'll end up being up here because I have a couple of things I have to do tonight. I'm usually up here for a very, very long time. I'm going to, you'll still hear me, but I'm going to block the camera out for 1 minute because I think I just got a message. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I had got a message, so just let me respond and I'll be back. Yeah, okay, so I'm coming back now. Yes, I ended up getting a message. And I just responded to
Mom,
it.
Zion has the shea butter.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, I love my children. I love being a parent. Okay, my this little boy right here, he is so busy. Can I imagine life without him now that he's here now? Because he is so busy, yet he's so smart. I was talking with him yesterday. We were laying down together, and I was like, "Say hola." And he said, "Hola." I said, "Say como." You gonna say hola? No. You don't want to talk to them? You don't want to talk to them? Say hi. Well, tonight he does not want to talk to you guys, so you're gonna sing for him. Say, oh, 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 oh.
I would wear the food.
Yeah, so he likes to sing, so he sings with me, and we do a lot of things together. Mickey Mouse.
I think he just gave you the other grandpa.
Say Mickey. Yes, he likes Mickey Mouse and all of that good stuff. But we have a great relationship. You have to have good relationships with your kids. You have to have good relationships with your spouses. Women, start listening to your men. Men, start listening to your women. You know what I'm saying? Learn to agree to disagree. Like I mentioned earlier, women, if you have babies by a dude and he don't want to be with you, chop it up. Don't go to make his life a living hell. Let him go. Let the next chick deal with him. You know what I'm saying? And whatever mess you had to deal with, if any, just let it go. It's too you're wasting. Use your energy in a better way. You know, yeah, you might be hurt and all of that good stuff. Yeah, of course. But that doesn't mean you have to just sit there and, you know, don't let it suck your soul out of your body.
I would have grabbed
You
other
know?
people's money.
Yeah, so I just want to, you know, leave that word of advice to women, men. Same thing. If your baby mama don't want you, that is not no reason for you not to be taking care of your child. You know what I'm saying? If the person did you dirty, don't go out and be vengeful about it. Let karma come get him, because trust me, karma comes through. Okay, karma comes through and handles situations. And it's not like it used to be. It's not like it don't take 10 years for karma to come and get you. It doesn't. Karma comes through and makes things happen. All right. So just, remember that. Stop it. No, don't put your hands in there. Say, yes. But yeah, when you sit there and I'm a Scorpio. So we are one of the most vindictive signs there are, and we will want to get back at people. But as I got older and I learned, you don't have to. People self-destruct themselves. You don't have to do stuff to people.
Why I
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put your hands on them, and you can still watch them destruct. Here, Zarian, can you grab this from mom? Thank you. You can watch them destruct. So that's something that, something for y'all to think about. Wow. Oh my gosh, she done slid down my boot to get off the bed. But yeah, just embrace life. It's gonna be some good days. It's going to be some bad days. It's up to you what you decide to take out of it and what you decide to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Negative things could be happening in your life right now. Don't focus on the negative things that's going on in your life. Use your energy and focus on the positive things. Like I'm a single parent, so I know how a lot of people feel right now. I know a lot of women are sitting there and they're like, you know what? I got all these bills and the holidays are coming up, and it's like these holidays are designed to be depressing for a lot of people. Stop letting these man-made holidays steal your joy. Okay, stop doing that. All right? You can do what you can do, and if you can't do it, oh well. And a lot of people don't understand it's not about what you buy your kids or what you can buy your kids. It's about the time you spend with them and the love that you give them. That's what it's about. Okay, so I would recommend people spend more time with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Instead of worrying about what you can't get, be grateful for what you have. Because it's somebody out there praying for what you have. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody out there that's in need. Don't forget those things. Be kind to people. Be compassionate to people. If you see somebody and they need help and you decide to help them selflessly. Helping someone selflessly is doing something for someone and them not having to hear it over and over and over again or ever again that you did it for them. If you help somebody and you throw it in their face, you really didn't want to help them. You just did it so you can have something to throw in their face. That's not good. That means you didn't do it sincerely from the bottom of your heart. So just let's become better people. When we become better people, we can get into better relationships and build better things. Otherwise, what are we here for? What are we living for if we're not being better for somebody else or we're not out to help anybody else? Oh, while it's on my mind, my last video show was a celebration of the Kings. I would like to, the video got blocked because I used music and they said it was some copyright infringements and stuff like that. So to all the people that felt they owned the music, I wasn't using the music for anything monetary. I was using the music to get my point across. The funny thing about it is they have more than one option. They didn't have to block the video. They could have just muted their music. But they chose to block the video so the message would not get across to the men. The point wouldn't be delivered properly. Okay, so again, it was a celebration of the Kings, and my message was to let men know that they are loved and to let them know that they are important, not just in their households, but in the community and society as a whole. Okay, so I want y'all to know this. Never let anyone tell you anything different. You guys are important. You are loved. You are needed. Okay? You are. One cannot exist without the
Here's the
other.
funny one.
A world full of women is not gonna work. A world full of men without women is not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to know that I love you guys because I love men. Okay? You know, and the ones that's, like I mentioned on my show, the ones that stepped off their throne.
Come on, stop. Let 'em
It's
go.
time for y'all to get back to where y'all supposed to
Don't
be
force
at.
them.
You know what I'm saying? Get it together because y'all supposed to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? And it's time for y'all to take your rightful place. Because a lot of y'all not in your rightful places. A lot of y'all got this peasant mentality, and it's time to just shake that off of y'all. Because how are you supposed to walk around and feel like you a king if you ain't doing kingly things? How are you supposed to walk around and call yourself a man if you're not doing manly things? Okay? So I need y'all to get it together. I need y'all to man up and be men. I need y'all to man up and be fathers. I need y'all to man up and be spouses and husbands to women. I need y'all to get it together. I need y'all to stop allowing society to emasculate you and annihilate you at the same time.
What?
Okay?
Where do you see?
I also need y'all to sit there.
Oh my God! Junior, whatever. Get out of my way.
Just get a wet piece of tissue. I need you to sit there and I need y'all to get it right. I need y'all to step up. Stop allowing society to emasculate y'all to the point that you guys are being annihilated. Stop making it so hard for women. Right now, it's like 85% of women is stronger than y'all men, and that's not what's up. You're fine. That's not what's up. You know what I'm saying? Let's sit there and do what needs to be done so we can have a future. Okay? So our children can have a future. The right type of future. Pull your pants up. If you're walking around with your pants hanging off your ass, pull them up. That is not the example that I want my sons to have to see. That's not the example I want my daughter to have to see. Pull your pants up. Okay? If you're walking around and you're whining and complaining like a little female, get it together. Get it together, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Stop whining and complaining about how things are not going in your life and man up and do something about it. Okay? This is what I have to say to y'all tonight. It's time to get back to the basics. Go watch some old school movies to see how men used to treat women. Okay? Take some lessons, read a book. Do something. Because the way that things are going is not good. And like I mentioned earlier, kids assimilate what they see. So if you walking around and you walking around half-assed, how you think these kids gonna walk around and be when they get older? You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to do nothing for you, do it for the kids. Do it for the future, because the kids are the future. Do it for them. If you don't want to do nothing for you. Again, like I said, well, I love you guys at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to know y'all appreciate it and y'all value. I want to thank everyone that listened in tonight. I want to thank John Maddox for chopping it up with us tonight. Shout outs to my co-host, Kenny Bugs, and my co-host, Touch. You know what I'm saying? Hope all is well with you guys. You know what I'm saying? We'll meet up real soon. And I would like to thank everyone that supports Why Fathers Matter. I really appreciate you supporting the mission. I want to shout out to my mother and her husband as well. They're usually here. I want to shout them out also because they've been supportive from day one. Okay, I want to shout out my cousin Linda. She's been supportive from day one. I want to shout out my other co-hosts on my other show, Eshu Shango and Papa Hoodoo, and all of that stuff. I want everyone to know that I really appreciate them being a part of what I'm doing and for believing in what I'm doing as well. So, like I told you, I'm not gonna be on too late tonight. So, I wanted to thank everybody for being here. Thank everyone for listening. Everyone that called in on Blog Talk. Everyone that's going to watch the video. Please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Share it with your friends. I'll do another show Tuesday at 12. You know, I have shows Thursday at 8. So everyone have a good night. Peace.